All right. So, hi, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. For those persons who are tuning in on Facebook, hello. To those tuning in on YouTube, hello. And for later, for those streaming on Roots 96.1 FM in Jamaica, hello to you as well. It's morning here in Japan. It's 9 a.m. And in Jamaica, it's what? Saturday night at 7 p.m. So, welcome to everyone. So today we're talking about journey into the unknown, moving by faith into unknown territories. I have made my own journey into the unknown, moving from Jamaica to Japan. And I set that out in my new book, Journey into the Unknown. Finding the courage to move from where you are to where God wants you to be. Now, the interesting thing is that while on this journey, I have met other persons who have made their own steps of faith into the unknown. And that's one such person that I am bringing on today. Her name is Frashia, and she's from Kenya. And Frashia told me a story of always wanting to travel abroad. It was her dream. And then she finally got that acceptance letter for a university in Tokyo. And so she packed up and she left home. But there were some circumstances at home that were not so desirable. You know, it was a time in her life that she would have preferred to stay in her comfort zone, in everything that she was accustomed to. But just to pursue that dream, she had to make a hard decision to move. And so today I invited Frashia on just to talk about her story. And so I'll just add her to the stream. Hi, Frashia.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
I need to remember what you taught me. Jumbo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you still remember. You have such a good memory. Yeah. Jumbo, everybody. It's nice to be here. Thank you so much, Sandy, for having me here.
Yes, Precious. So, girl, I absolutely love your story. You are one of the most resilient women I have ever met. You inspire me from the very first day that we met up to this point. And so, Fresha, it is such an honor to share with you today. You know, because I know that everything that you've had to go through took so much courage and so much strength. So yeah, let's talk about it. Life in Kenya, girl. I've never been to Kenya. What is life in Kenya like?
Um, it's just chill. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for having me here, and I'm glad to share my story. Yeah, I hope I'll be able to share. First
Yeah.
of all, yeah, I hope I'll be able to share. And yeah, as you heard, I'm from Kenya, somewhere in Eastern Africa, and I've been in Japan for 2 years now. Yeah, and seriously, comparing the life to Japan uh, and back home, there are two different types of life, and in there's so much I would want to share about Kenya. So, so maybe I spare that for another time. But I enjoyed the life back home. Every bit of it was enjoyable, and I miss it.
You miss it, girl. I miss Jamaica too. I keep telling myself sometimes I'm at school and
Mm-hmm.
I fantasize about what Jamaican food I want to eat. So I'm like, when I
Mm-hmm.
get home, I want to tasty patty. I want curry goat and white rice. And I cook Jamaican food for you. You like Jamaican food?
Yeah, my God, I loved that. Yeah, just last month. Yeah, I loved it, and it's something I wanna try again.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I wanna try it anytime, and I wanna try it locally. I wanna visit Jamaica one day, just to
you're
try more. Yeah, I liked the dish you made.
Yes, you need to come to Jamaica with me and you will absolutely love it. So
I
if I
can't
visit Kenya,
wait.
what are
Mm-hmm.
some foods that we can try in Kenya?
Um, well, um, There's so many dishes to try. First of all, there are the cultural dishes, and there are also like the foods that are associated with the whole country. And one of my favorite foods is, chapati, right? I told you chapati, which is just some bread. It's a form of bread made from wheat flour. So I miss that so much, and we try to make that here, and at least it takes me back home for a moment. So there's chapati, there's pilau, there's I miss nyama choma. My God, nyama choma is just like it's barbecued beef, and yeah, that's one of the delicacies that I really miss and how it's traditionally made. We have ugali, which is made from corn flour. We have mukimo, which is mashed potatoes and some cereals like maize and beans or any other type of cereals. Yeah, mukimo, and mainly there's also, yeah, there's so much, but those are like the main dishes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so good, Frashia. So you told me that you always had a dream to travel and to study abroad. Where did that dream come from?
Oh, well, yeah, that's like a childhood dream. I can't really remember when exactly it started, but it's been a childhood dream. But one of the things that triggered it so much was maybe in about class 6. So about 9 or 10 years old. That's the farthest I can remember. And it began just from a notebook. My dad gave me a notebook. Like he had gone for a money transfer at Western Union, and he was given a notebook, and he brought it to me, and it had a quote, famous quote by Nelson Mandela, which says that education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. And that quote actually pushed my desire to study hard and also to like just aim at the sky, because I knew like the transaction was money from abroad, of course. So I was like, wow. So this is a place I really want to go to. This place, and yeah, I had seen people coming from abroad, and I had seen abroad on TV. This place is this place. I just it looks so beautiful. It looked magical. It didn't look real. So since then, I always admired to go abroad. Yeah.
Okay, so you always want to go abroad, but Frashia, why Japan?
Oh well. If I were to be honest, like as I grew up, Japan was never in my mind. It was never in my mind. I had other options like the States, that's the most popular abroad when you go back home. That's the most popular. And I always wanted to go to other places, and Japan was not among them until I finished like campus. Yeah. So when I was in undergrad and I pursued psychology, and I developed some areas of interest, to pursue, and among them was suicides. I wanted
Oh,
to research so much about suicide, and when I finished campus, I one of my cousins gave me the idea of traveling to Japan when I talked to him about my research interest, and he told me Japan. And he asked me whether I would be interested, and I researched and deeply thought about it, and I thought to myself, why not explore this new place? It's a place that's not so popular. All we know about it, the most popular thing that we knew about Japan was the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that we import lots of cars from them. But reading about their culture, it looked fascinating. So I thought, wow, yeah, this could be an option as well. And then coincidentally, it just matched my areas of interest, because Japan has had among the highest cases of suicide in the world. So I thought, yeah, it would be an opportunity for me to study about suicide, and also maybe learn about the culture, this traditional culture. There's so much. I saw so much things to explore in Japan, so I decided to give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was moving from Jamaica, man, I had my whole entire life. I was uprooting everything. I had to downsize into 2 pieces of luggage. Can you imagine? I had to give clothes away, give away shoes, give away books and perfumes and just everything. I had to let everything go. So tell me, what was it like when you were packing, when you got that acceptance letter and you were packing to leave home? What were the emotions?
Oh my God, that like takes me back right away to the first moment when I got that acceptance letter to my school. And at that moment, first of all, it's like I didn't think about anything. I didn't think about what it meant to travel abroad. All I wanted was to travel, but I was like still doing my internship until the last moment. Then when the time came to travel, yeah, I had to do like a rush shopping and rush packing. I don't even know what I was shopping for anyway, because I arrived in Japan and I realized, oh my God, what did I even pack? But yeah, it was also some few days before like my travel, a reality struck, and now I started thinking, oh my God, this is what it means to travel abroad. I have to leave my family, I have to leave my friends, I have to leave everything. Yeah, and just like you, I had like lots of like favorite clothes, but I realized I could not carry all of them, and I actually ended up like living out almost everything. And I also knew that I'm coming to start up a new life, and of course I'm going to abroad. Yeah, like it was like I'm going abroad. So abroad, I will find all these brands. So I don't need to carry so much things. I don't need to carry so much things. So it was just fascinating packing and sorting out things without second thoughts, just giving out. Yeah, at that moment you're like, yeah, I just want to let everything go. I'm going to start a new life, not anywhere else but abroad. Guys, do you know I'm living my dream. I'm living my dream finally. Yeah. So I ended up packing almost nothing, and yeah, and so reality struck me when it was almost too late on what it meant to travel abroad. It's something I really never thought about deeply because of the excitement and all. Yeah.
Okay, and when you say reality struck you, take me into that reality. Help me to understand, or someone who is listening or watching to understand.
Well, first of all, the reality I'm talking about is like me. From Kenya to Japan is about 20 hours away by flight. So you can imagine that distance. So it was my first time like traveling outside of Kenya to a far country. So the reality that hit me is that, okay, now I'm traveling for good and with no hope of coming back anytime soon. I don't have hope of coming back anytime soon, and it means being away from family. It means losing friends, and it's like literally you're living your life behind, a life that you've created for so many years. Now you have to leave it behind, and you have to go to a different country, and it was worse because it was Japan. Because the Japanese, they just speak Japanese. The culture is different. The people are different. I don't speak their language, and I don't know like anybody. I'm just traveling here, and I would say for a moment I paused for a moment and I started thinking, oh, is this really what I wanted? Is this what I really wanted? To the extent that I had to go down, I had to find a notebook and write all the pros and cons of traveling or not traveling to Japan. You know, there was, of course, there were so many pros of traveling, but then and a few cons. But despite all these pros, then there was the aspect of I don't know. I really I haven't been there before, so really there's so much beyond. There's so much that I will experience after this, and it could be either positive and still or negative. So it was just like your book said, it was a land, a journey into the unknown. I didn't really know, yeah, all I could write down is what I knew in my head. And I focused so much, of course, on my goals, but I really didn't know what it is like to when I get there to Japan. I didn't know what it was going to be like.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the interesting thing that you said, Frashia, is that there were so many sacrifices. You mentioned losing friends, moving away from your family, and a lot of times when we make that step in faith, people don't realize how many sacrifices it takes. That in order to pursue your dreams, there are so many things that you have to give up. You just have to let go of those things.
Um, yeah, I think that's one of the things that sometimes and most of the times we don't think about when you have something that you really want to achieve. Mostly it means like you have to sacrifice so much. There's so much to sacrifice if you really want to get a step further from where you are. Of course, it's easier. It's easier to sometimes just sit and wait, be comfortable where you are, but there's so much sacrifice that you have to make. And maybe I don't know whether I can mention this right now, as you know, my story became so daunting, like it became so tough, a decision to make after, even with all the excitement of traveling abroad. It's like just around that moment is when like my mom got so sick. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. Like just the moment after I got my admission to let her to come to Japan, then my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and yeah, so this is what it meant. So she started her treatment, and yeah, she started her treatment, and just around, so by the time I was going for I was traveling, she had just gone through a major surgery. So
Yeah.
I'm the firstborn daughter, and so there was need for me to be around my mother. There was
Yeah.
need for me to be around there for her and to help her out, see her through the treatment. But it meant like, so traveling to Japan meant that I was going to leave her. I was
Yeah.
supposed to leave her in her sickness. I just had to make that decision of
Yeah, and I
leaving
know
her.
it has been very difficult for you. And I know it's a triggering topic, so we don't
Mm-hmm,
even have to get into it too much,
mm-hmm,
because I know it's still very much
mm-hmm.
raw and still very painful. But
Yeah.
Precious, sometimes when we are pursuing our dreams and we're in pursuit of our destiny, sometimes things are not okay at home. And I know for a lot of foreigners in Japan or in America or in the UK or wherever, they have to think about paying off the student loan back home. They have to think about helping younger siblings. They have other debts that they have to take care of. Sometimes they get a call from home and it's a lot of fights and quarrels and stuff like that. And you are pursuing something, but then your roots, the place where you're from, there is turmoil in that place. So the question to you is, Frashia, knowing from your experience, knowing that there were so many things that were happening at home, your mom was sick, your siblings were there, you're the eldest child. How did you manage to still stay focused in Japan?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I went through everything that you've talked about. I went through everything that you've mentioned. Being the eldest means so much responsibility, very high expectations from you. Yeah, our families like have very high expectations for the firstborn child, and you know everything that we just talked about. And if I were to be honest, and if I were to summarize my experience, um, I really don't know how I was able to make it through. Yeah, through especially my first year. I don't know how I was able to make it through my first year. I mean, maybe it was just God's grace, and I just lived. No, I survived. I just survived. I never lived because it was one of the most depressing moments I have ever had in my life. My first year, because of course, when I got to Japan, I started seeing the reality. I started to live a new life, and they were now I was experiencing the reality that we were talking about. I was experiencing the reality of what it is to be in a foreign country, but then I still have home with me. It's like I just left there physically, but I still have home at heart. I still have it in my mind. I have it with me, like just getting. I have to keep checking on my mom every day. She has to keep calling me every day to tell me what is happening with her. And there was so much. There was so much in my head. I think I would say I was depressed, and I just don't know how I made it through. Maybe it was just a walk of faith.
Mm,
It was just a walk of faith that I did. Yeah, I don't know how I survived.
okay.
I can't really explain how I survived through the first and second year. Yeah.
But you not only survived, Frashia, but you thrived as well because you completed your master's degree here in Japan. And what was your master's in?
Well, I pursued a master's in the education and psychology program, and but I still specialized in psychology. And well, as you say, it's like I don't I survived. I survived, yeah, all this mental distress, and that's why I'm saying I can't explain, because in the middle of all this crisis, there was, yeah, of course, there was so much crisis. If I was to start talking about my experiences in Japan as well, so there was so much, but I still made it. I still made it to finish my education. I graduated on time, and also I still managed to be a good daughter, a good sister, and also like still keep working on my dreams. So it's really something that I really I can't explain to anybody how I managed. Yeah.
Okay. Frashia, what would you mentioned being the firstborn and while here on your journey in Japan, always feeling as if you need to be strong. And girl, you are not the only person. There are so many people who they have so many things going on and they just feel like there's no space for them to be vulnerable. Like they always have to hold it together, because if not, maybe they think that things are gonna fall apart. So, what would you say to someone like that, who inside, they're so broken, and they just feel like they have to keep, being tough?
Oh, well, um, I think one thing that I have learned through this process, is sometimes you just have to let yourself. The only thing that can help is to be vulnerable. You
Mm,
have to, yeah, it's the best thing at that moment, because for me, especially if I was not vulnerable at that moment, then I didn't have any other option. The only option that was at hand was either to just give up the whole process, or go back to my country, or to just let things flow. I had to let things be, and I allowed myself experience all these feelings, because after all, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It just means, like, you are human enough to go through all these experiences. So no matter how hard it is, sometimes vulnerability is the only option, and that is what it means to be human. Because at least you are able to realize, you are able to realize your good moments and your bad moments, and both are normal. But this vulnerability and these very tough moments are, you should not let them define you, but they are what create you. They create you, like, it's just part of your story, but it's not who you are. That's just part of your story, and you should, like, uphold it with bravery, and yeah, you should be confident in it. Like, yeah, I know this will pass as well. And also, sometimes when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, and you may think that this is bad, I'm really in a bad place, but then you may not. I promise you and I assure you that that's not the worst place. Sometimes before you realize, life will just bring in an even harder. Before you get over this vulnerability, then life strikes you with another thing. And what do? Do you still give up? You can't give up even at this point. Like, you experiencing vulnerability is like it prepares you for even harder challenges. So the best thing that you can do is just to uphold it and to allow yourself to experience all this. And so, like in my case, I had my mom. As I said earlier, my mom was sick, and I really tried hard to go and see her. I was able to travel for research, and I was able to see her. And it made me feel better. When I came back, at least I felt better that I've been able to unite with her. But then, just when I was starting to heal, then my mom passed away.
mm,
So, what do I do again? Yeah, like, I was in a bad place before, but then just when I was starting to heal, just when I was starting to recover, then life brought something else. Like, my mom just passed away, and
and girl, I cannot even imagine the strength that, like, sometimes, like, we have our own stories. Like, I have my own story, and I'm like, oh, this hurts me, and stuff. And I mean, everybody's story holds value. But then sometimes I hear someone else's story, and I'm like, my God, I cannot imagine the kind of strength that it would take for me, for example, like you, to be living in a foreign country and to have someone so close to you pass away, to be ill and then pass away while you're studying, and even at the very onset of a pandemic. So, girl, I am just, you are my superwoman, and I want to let you know how very proud I am of you, Frasha. you did it, you pushed and you did it. And I told you before, I'm like, girl, I know your mom is so, I don't know what works today, but girl, I know your mom is so proud of you. I know she is celebrating you, girl. She's there cheering you on. And I mean, you know, and everything that you have achieved and that you are achieving are the very things that she hoped for you. So I just want you to take comfort in that, Frasha, you know? So,
Yeah.
so girl, so what was it like when you went back to Kenya? Because I know when you went back to Kenya, it
Uh-huh.
was close to the time when the borders in Japan was even closing.
Well, I would say, yeah, she passed away early this year, and I think I say that she passed on just at a perfect time. You know, already it was so depressing to have her sick under normal circumstances. It was so bad to have her sick because it means I had to worry the anxiety of like somebody who is critically ill. You don't know how long you're going to be with them, so it's a constant thought that keeps running through your mind. And now comes this pandemic of coronavirus, and of course the most vulnerable people are those who are ill. Yeah, like being sick makes you more vulnerable to this virus. So but she passed on uh, in March. So by in March, we still didn't have, like when I traveled home is when we had the first case of coronavirus. And since then, it has been spreading and spreading at a very high rate. So, and she was getting treatment in a hospital which is far away. Then there was the lockdown of the there was a lockdown of the borders even within the country and all. So I don't know what it would be like for her to still be alive at this time, and she cannot get the treatment that she needed because she has been locked down either in the city and nobody can go to see her, or she has been locked at home and she can't even be able to travel to the hospital. So I say that she passed on at a perfect timing, and also because I was able to travel. I just traveled, and just a week after I came back to Japan, that's when the borders of the country of Kenya, my country Kenya, closed its borders. So I was just lucky to like travel home and then come back before the shutting down, because I still had, remember, I still had my studies to pursue. I was almost graduating. It was my last term. So I think my mom just passed on at a perfect timing. She saved us that depression of worrying, the worries through this pandemic, because at least we know now she's in a safer place and she's not in pain anymore. And yeah, it's, I think that thought has been that feeling has been better than having to worry and feel helpless, especially for me from this far. It has been better than just having her, but she's in pain and I cannot be able to help her. So yeah, she passed on at a perfect timing. Um, yeah, because we don't know what will have happened to her during the coronavirus times and in her sickness. We don't know what will have happened. Yeah.
Okay. I can definitely see and understand that, Frasha.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, girl, it has been such a journey for you. You're here now in Japan, and I know that there are so many more wonderful things in store for you. And I can't wait to see them manifest. I can't wait to see the next leg of your journey. I am here cheering you on, girl. I'm very proud of you. And my friend Sandrine says to send you a virtual hug. She's your sister from another country. She's from Jamaica. So just say I will send you a virtual hug.
Yeah.
Just to let you know how very proud she is of you. And we're all cheering you on. It's very important
Thank
for you to know that there are people in your circle who love you and who are supporting you and who are invested in your success. So, so very proud of you, Frashia. Just to end, Frashia, what would you, I'm sorry, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. So I'm so grateful for my circle. I think, yeah, it's not all about being strong. It's not all about being strong and being vulnerable. It's you need a support system. You need to identify people who actually just let you, who can understand what you're going through, and people who give you the space to be, you know. So also beside, yeah, being, if you allow yourself to be vulnerable and be alone, trust me, you'll be broken. But you need a support system, and that is one of the things that has helped me so much in this journey. I could not do it alone. Of course, I have had people who helped me, who supported and listened to me, and yeah, that is part of what has helped me thrive, as you said, through this journey. Yes.
All right. So, Frashia, for persons who are looking to make their own journey into the unknown, to take that step, that leap of faith, whether it's a new job, whether it's moving to another country, whether it's starting a new relationship with all of the surprises that that can take us on that journey, what word of inspiration would you give to one of those persons?
First of all, I will just encourage you to pursue what you want, pursue what your heart really wants, because I think it's better to it's just better to experience. It's better just to try and fail rather than not trying at all. Because in my case, if I chose to just not to travel to Japan, if I decided not to travel to Japan, then probably I would still be in the same place that I was 2 years ago, and nothing much would have changed. But the fact that I just took this step then means it has created me. It has brought out some strength that I never knew I had in me. The thing is, in whatever challenges we're going through, there's always that innate strength. There's an innate strength in us, which is only supposed to come out in times of challenges. But what if you don't try, if you don't go for what you want, if you don't take risks and jump into the deep waters, you'll never know, you'll never discover your strength. You'll never discover your strength. And as we always hear is that we cannot be tested beyond our strength. Like in whatever challenge you might face, it's you're only facing it because it was written. It's written that you can be able to handle that. Is you can handle that even if you think you may not be able to, but you're facing it because you have the universe and God knows that you have the power, you have the strength to face this. So I would encourage you to try out because risks, challenges are what build us and prepare us for even worse things that will come, things that we never anticipate for, things we never call for. We will face them, but uh, please don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your dreams at all. Just pursue, and it's more satisfying. It's more satisfying to when you in the when at the end when you when you're like you overcame this. So for me, I look back now and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. At least I did it. And it gives me comfort. It gives me comfort knowing that at least I did. For example, like my mom passed on. I left her in her sickness, but at least when she passed on, she saw me do what she would have wanted me to be doing. She saw me pursue my goals. Probably, even if I stayed at home with her, there's nothing much that would have changed. If it was written, it was written in the beginning that she would pass on in 2020. So there's nothing much that I would have changed, right? So that's what I keep telling myself. But um, I think she's happier knowing that at least when she left, I was I'm in a at least I'm in a position to support myself and to support my siblings, and I lived my dream. It's not like I really I didn't forsake her. Even it's just the distance that increased, but I supported her. I found means of supporting her, even while still far away. So don't let anything like. Of course, there are some things. Sometimes we just have to make the tough decision of giving up our dreams, but don't let it. Um, don't let some of the things that we might use as the reasons for giving up on our dreams are we can always find a way through them. It's always a way through how to play with these things, how to integrate all these things that are happening, and trust me, it's even more gratifying, and it gives you such a good feeling when you are able to overcome all these challenges, because you don't have any regrets. Trust me, regrets are worse. The wishes are worse than trying and failing, or just trying and succeeding. Yeah,
Right.
because the worst that can happen if you take up that risk is failing. But what is failing? Does
Mm.
failing mean this is the end of the world? No, it just leaves you a bit wiser, right? It leaves you a bit wiser, but it doesn't change a thing from you. So you're
Yeah.
still the same person. But what if you try? I think you always have to look at two sides of the coin. What if I try and fail? It doesn't change a thing. But what if I try and I succeed?
Mm.
Yeah, what if I try and I succeed? Yeah, so those are the two sides of the coins that maybe everybody I would encourage everybody to be looking at. And yeah, just don't give up on your dreams.
Okay.
Yeah, go where the heart tells you, go where your heart tells you.
Okay, you said something very important, and Claudine Campbell, who is Claudine Gibbons from Jamaica, she made a comment on that as well. She says, "Continue soaring, Frashia. Indeed, taking risk reveals the strength within." So for those of us who feel like we cannot do it, I'm weak, I'm not prepared, how can I do this? Do you really think that it's actually when we take that plunge into the unknown that we start to realize strength that we never even knew?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, you actually you don't need to know the way. Yeah, you don't need to know the way. You don't need to be strong. You just need to be courageous enough.
you think so?
Yeah,
Just
courage
like,
is the only thing. Everything else will come. I don't know from where, but it will just come
mhm.
once you find that courage to just make the move of going for whatever you want. Then you will find a means will come. Just don't worry about the means, but worry about the end. Focus on the end rather than the means.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's Very good. I mean, Frashia, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I want to thank everyone on Facebook who is tuning into the stream. I want to thank everyone on YouTube who has tuned in. And Frashia, I want to give you the floor, if there's anything that you want to share finally, because we're getting ready to close.
Yeah, I don't know. Of course, for me, there's so much story. Yeah, my story. It's so long, and I would take a whole day. Like just now, I can try to talk about it. Yeah, at first um, I I wasn't so proud of it. While walking through the journey, it's like no, I didn't wanna think about it even, but yeah, now I can share so much. There's so much that I would wish to share with everybody about my journey, because there's so much more than what I just talked about. There's so much more than my mother's illness, so many challenges. But just to encourage you, as I said, please don't give up on your dreams. Uh, just pursue. If you find yourself in vulnerable places, just know that that's what it means to be human. So don't beat yourself so hard when you're going through challenges. The worst probably is, yeah, in terms of challenges, you may think you've been through the worst, but sometimes we say the best. Of course, the best is yet to come, but sometimes the worst may still come in terms of challenges. But just allow yourself to allow yourself to experience whatever emotions that come in your way. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what it means to be human.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're
Mm.
absolutely Girl, we need to go out. You need to go back to Shin Okubo to eat Korean food.
Oh no, I want to join you. Oh
So,
yeah, we need to eat that chicken again.
yes, food is night.
Yeah, oh, that
Girl,
chicken.
I'm
Hmm. Yeah,
proud of
I'm,
you.
I'm
It's an absolute pleasure meeting you here on this journey in the unknown. Absolutely amazing.
Yes, it's been a nice journey together. I'm so glad we met like just at the beginning of the journey, when both of us were still trying to figure out our ways in Japan. Yeah, I'm so glad that we were able to meet then. Um, and thank you so much for listening to my story.
Yeah.
Thank you for encouraging me even when things were so bad. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with the Jamaicans. I'm so
Yeah.
glad. Yeah, yeah, with my brothers and sisters from Jamaica. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to speak to them.
Yes.
Yes, and yeah, thank you for the love. Thank you for the encouragement that uh, all of you have sent. And yeah, I see now M. Gooden saying the important thing is don't give up. And
Yeah.
yeah, that is for sure. That's for sure. No giving up at all. And we're still, now we are stronger. I think we are stronger to dive into even deeper waters. And the best is yet to come for sure.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll connect with you a little bit later. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining the live today. This is my third live stream. It's my second time doing it with StreamYard. I'm getting used to it. I learned how to put the comments on the screen today, so I'm feeling bougie. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. For persons in Jamaica, I will be sharing my story on RJR this Sunday. When is it? Saturday. I'm going to be sharing my story on RGR. I will be posting a flyer to give the time. So yeah, I'm very excited. Real Jamaican Radio. I'm very excited about that, about just sharing with more people, especially about the book. The book is available on Amazon, Journey into the Unknown, in all territories in Japan, in the US, in UK, in Canada, and in Jamaica as well. And I am just so thankful for everyone who has purchased a copy so far. I am thankful for everyone who has been sending me their pictures. And I am so thankful for everyone who has been giving me feedback. It means a lot. Copies of the book are available at York Pharmacy. Katie, I have just seen you at the end. Hi, Katie. So copies of the book are available at York Pharmacy. It is on the shelf now. I am so excited about that. Who would have thought that my book would have been on the shelf at York Pharmacy? I'm very excited. So yeah, Claudine, I am looking forward to your book. I am your book coach, Claudine. So I am very excited to see your work and the Katie and Gentles. Where's Katie's book? So Katie and Gentles, let me put her on screen. Katie and Gentles is the author of One Big Airy Family. And this is on Amazon as well. I have a whole heap of book from Jamaican authors, you know. So there's One Big Airy Family from Katie and Gentles. There is Recharge Your Mind from Mind Food, Natasha and Jamar Wright, who are great friends of mine. Claudine is going to be an author as well. Let's see who else I have. He even have Bishop Courtney McLean, who is a pastor in Jamaica on Old Harbor Road. So yeah, this is why my luggage was so full when I was living in Jamaica, because I left with all of my books, every Jamaican author. And here is Trishana Jackson, About My Father's Business, The Cost and Reward of a Life Surrender to God. Guys, I literally have like a whole suitcase with pure book in it. And it's very important for people to know that Black people read and that we are authors too. So for those presumptuous people abroad who will ask us, do you guys speak English? Yes, we do. We're very talented, we're very successful, and we are doing a bag of things. So guys, thank you so much for joining. I have another podcast that I'm going to join in 8 minutes. So Claudine said I would have to. Okay, they say I'm in the company of awesome people. And Michelle says, where's Michelle? M. Gooden says, very interesting story. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Mommy and Me, Feminine Goddess, for joining. It's very nice to see you and very nice to see everybody on. All right, guys. So I'm going to end the broadcast now. Thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye.